Back again. Another episode of A Muslim and an Atheist Breaks Bread. What you saying, Pop?
I'm good, man.
Good to hear.
Getting there anyway.
You getting there, yeah? Hold on, let me just check one thing. So this morning we're gonna do a subscriber request. So the request comes from, let me find them because I've been asking for it for a while. It comes from Ashrawuko0783, if I pronounced that right. So basically they've told us to watch this video. They haven't told us what the video is about, but they said that they think we'd enjoy it. So I'm just going to put it on. No expectation. Let's see what's popping. You ready, yeah?
Yeah, man.
A day in the life of a Gurukula boy. Do you know what a Gurukula boy is? Neither do I. I'm gonna assume it's like a little monk or, like one of them.
Gopher.
I'm gonna, like the little
trainee, apprentice.
Trainee Dalai Lama type thing. That's what I'm getting from it, but let's have a look.
It's a bit weird then, yeah.
I'll cut all this out. Is that not
Thinking about you a lot lately. And I guess I didn't have much to say until now. By the way, it's me.
Daniel.
I know it's been a long time since I last spoke to you. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. And I guess I didn't have much to say until now. By the way, it's me, Pushata. There's Rishon. He's 15 now, so he gets to ride the elephant. Rishon says that I could also ride up there too, but my legs are too short, so I might fall off. No one has ever fallen off the elephant before, but I don't want to be the first one. There's Baba, of course. After we left Florida, he moved us here to Marble because he thought this would be the best place for us to grow up. I was too young to remember much about America.
Right, so do you think that kids growing up in this environment,
England.
Yeah, in England, is better than growing up in, let's say, Eastern environments or foreign environments? Yeah.
No.
You think it's better over there? It's only like, obviously we look now, because I'm just thinking about my kids. I think it was different when we were kids, because I remember being like...
It's different when we were kids, yeah. It's always different.
Yeah, so I remember being... So this is what I was going to ask you, because it might like be full circle. Because when I was young, I remember just being outside, constantly outside. From young as well, I'm talking 7, 8, running around in King's Eve. I can remember riding down, even when we was at Handsworth, being outside on the push bikes. Probably not far, and you guys were there, but when I certainly went to King's Eve, I remember being like just able to go and roam freely. But my kids now, I wouldn't even they can't even go to the shop. They're not allowed to leave the yard, seriously. It's like, unless there's an adult with them, like they're 10 and 7, which I think is sensible. I'm not saying that's bad, but I wouldn't even trust them to go out now. Do you know what I mean? Like when we were young, it was like, yo, yeah, you and your brothers can go out, stick together, make sure you're home by this time. That was it. You won't go too far or nothing, but you could go out your front door. Now it's like kids aren't allowed outside the front door. It's true, isn't it? Do you see that or?
I hope that's not the case, bro. Yeah, people used to be free. There used to be less hang-ups and rules and concerns back in the day, for real.
Safeguarding wasn't a thing, basically.
Well, I don't know what people call it, man. At work, they call it safeguarding. What do you do when you're at home? Paranoid. It's not safeguarding, is it? It's paranoia. And then, like I said, in terms of predators, predators used to be a low key thing, now it's in your face. So,
Yeah.
I guess there's due cause for people to be concerned like that at that level. Or back to the original question, is it better abroad? Yeah. Simple. No if, no but, no maybe.
It's just simpler as well. Like, I don't know if simpler is the right word, but I think...
It's simple till it goes wrong.
Do you know what I think? When I say simpler, I mean... I guess we're shackled by, like, consumerism. And so now, like, all your kids want to do... So my kids, they don't bother like going outside. It's just if they got the latest PlayStation, if they got the latest game, and they're watching the latest films, and it's like if I said to the kid, "Yeah, I should go and ride some elephants. Come, you're gonna learn how to like do some things." I think they just look at me like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Isn't it the house that you make? Again, when you lot was young, I was active. So you being with me by default made you lot out the house. Because you wasn't with me, you was with each other, but you was with me.
Yeah.
That was always my view. 3 boys, they can do what they want as long as it's within earshot. So, but I think, you know, the distractions, the iPhone, the iPad, the this, the that, it takes away from that. If the boys were outward bound, then I would assume Grace would become automatically more outward bound.
I think Grace probably would be more outward bound than both the boys, though, to be honest.
Let's hope so.
I think she will 100%. In fact, I don't even think I know she will. No, it's a bad thing. I just think, like you said, it's the house you build, innit? So it's just differences.
But it's also, like I said, in that house, how safe the woman feels, innit? Because if the woman's safe, then she doesn't restrict her kids. But if she don't feel safe, then she restricts the movement of the kids, I would say. I think the man's always gonna be
support act to whatever the woman wants, basically. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, she's the
woman has the word.
She's
If
the
she's
star.
in fear, then nothing's gonna work. So the man's got to ensure the woman feels safe in her environment. Then the kids get the benefits. If the man ain't doing his things, then the kids don't get that.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, come.
All I really remember is my life here in Melbourne. I remember when I first came here, I thought this was just some nice place with cows, palm trees, and the Ganga. But slowly, I realized that this is a very special place. Now, it just feels like home. So many people visit Mayapur from all over the world for the deities, for the kirtans, for the festivals, and especially for learning about Krishna consciousness. I am also learning how to be a good devotee of Krishna, so that someday you can be proud of me. Maybe you already know this, but last year I received a banana. That means I'm now learning puja and yajna. Not for the big deities, of course. Not yet, at least. In school, I've made so many friends from all over the world. I am now a vice group leader, which means that I take care of all these small boys. Like, for example, there's Vasudev. He's 7. He's from Israel. Here's Marishan. He's 8. And he's from Russia. Same thing. Also in my service group is Sadev. He likes to work in the backfield. He's 14, and he's from Ecuador.
Colombia.
Oh, right, Colombia. And there's the head boy, who takes care of all of us. Shri Prabhu from Colombia, or was it Ecuador?
Can I have some serious city drinks for us?
I know. I'm almost done. This is Vedanta.
Sorry, where did he say this was? Did you hear him say where it was? I never caught it. Right, well, listen.
I can hardly hear what he's saying, period. I can hear the music there.
Yeah, I was going to say the levels of the talking and the music isn't the best, but... Or maybe it's just the speaker.
From Mumbai. This is Naren from Dubai. He's the kitchen in charge. That means if breakfast is late, like it is today, then it's his fault.
That's actually you, Kuro.
I'm busy. Little Baller is from Taiwan. He's really good at kirtan. Big Balder Mishai is from Latvia. Go Ball is from New Zealand. And this is Mukunda. He was born in Mayapur. All the other boys say he's a pure devotee, that he talks to Tulsi Maharani and she actually talks back to him. I don't know if that's true. That's what Isham, of course. You might be happy to know that he really loves Sanskrit. He's one of the best in the whole school. Also, I wanted to introduce you to my best friend, Baba. She's really sweet and beautiful, and she weighs about 400 kilos. That's her. Yeah. And you should also meet Raju. Before his operation, he was really aggressive and tried to bite people. No, not him. That's Ramdas. I was talking about the horse. I don't ride him though. It's mostly Guranga who does. Sometimes I wonder if the whole world comes to Mayapur to study your books, and if studying is so important, then why do I have to spend so much time shoveling powder? Dave Marshall was explaining why in class the other day. He said that we are not controllers and enjoyers, we are servants. Devotional service is what makes the soul happy. Every soul's duty is to serve Krishna. Service trains us to be humble, which is essential for bhakti. We're brahmachari.
What do you think of that like service? Because I was literally having this conversation with someone the other day about saying that really, you know, there's such power in service. Like, you always feel better when you're, well, I feel better really if I'm servicing someone else's needs rather than my own.
Sounds good, innit?
No, but it's true. I think you get more like,
Well,
I think like on a surface level, when you're doing what you want to do, yeah, you get that instant like, yeah, I've done what I want to do. But I think for long term, like, you know, if you're a person with purpose, or you've got things that you really think like, yo, this is my purpose, I think that is deep rooted in service. I don't know, that's just the way I feel about it. I think when I'm helping someone else, I feel better than when I'm just doing something because I want to do it. Definitely. And that comes through in everything, like I say, even like what, like certain, if you look at things on a shallow level, people can think like, oh, you just do this to like make a living, earn money. But if you look at a deeper level, there's always obviously that need to earn money and make a living, which you need to do for yourself and your family. But really, even in that, it's kind of servicing others. Like you said, if your family, your wife, you're trying to please them. But then the work we choose to do that is all about trying to help other people. So I genuinely agree that like if you're like helping other people, service, that service is a massive thing in your life. And I do think if you do kind of base, not everything you do, because you need to take time for yourself, but if a lot of what you do is to help other people, then you'll generally have quite a happy and good life. What do you think?
I don't know. Like I said, at the moment, this is a school. Into context of the film, it's a school, so they're learning. Their school teaches them
Life.
obviously Sanskrit in terms of academics and real life in terms of real life. So I'm not sure service means the same. But then if I take the way I grew up compared to the way you grew up is completely different.
In terms of what?
In terms of what we had to do compared to what you lot had to do.
Oh, what you mean, like
our
domestically?
Parents, domestically, our parents was about that. Conditions made it so as well, I guess.
But that's not service.
Well, it's service when you do that as a matter of course. It's built in, and it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Whereas if it's not built in, you don't do it as a matter of course.
So the two things I would say differ, because I agree with you if it's built in, but when you're doing it as a child, you're not doing it for service. You're doing it because you're obliged to do it, and you're obliged to do those things until they become like habitual for you to just do it. So it's not even a thought then, it's just like a process of this is what I should do. But you are right. So let's say even in my household now, like domestically I'm terrible because I was never made to do it as a kid, so it's not really built into me to do it. Like if I go home and like, it's like I don't cook in my house or things like that. So
those are just choices though.
Yeah, they're choices because you can learn, but what I'm saying to you is, if them things are built in as a child, they don't become really a choice, it's just habitual, you just do it. But what I'm saying to you is when you get, so that's the difference there, so I agree, the way we were raised was different in that sense, but then when you get to an age point where you start to make your own decisions and choices, so you can learn things on it, like you can learn service, like it's not, even like I guess the work we do was built into us. When you think about, look what my mum does, look what things, so helping people has always been that kind of in the family. What's that face for? That.
I'm trying to interpret what you're saying into my language.
yeah, go on.
Yeah, there's help and service. Service and help are not the same. So this is my interpretation of service, right? So this is what I said. My mom's approach to I want to bake is, well, you spent enough time in the kitchen with me, so you should know how to bake.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, well, being in the kitchen wasn't learning, I was just in the kitchen.
100%.
You understand? So, but in terms of, now I'm able to, in contrast to being an observer in things, I can actively do it without needing anybody else for her and to her now, which as a young person, like I said, I wasn't skilled sufficiently to be able to deliver everything the way that one should be able to. And it isn't the service, like I said, maybe what you're calling service, I don't call service, which is why but service is, like I said, it's that plus to me. It's not like you have people who sell religion. I don't think religion should be sold. It's a service, you understand? Whereas a man might see it as a business. He might be the most pious man, but to me it's not something to be marketed. It's just something to be shared.
But I think, I get that, what you're saying. So in terms of that, when we say service, I still think it is a service, because I think realistically you could go and do anything, and it, like, realistically. So you either choose, it's like me and the man next door was having a conversation, and it was like, see, I couldn't do the way you do, because you have to have like a moral compass, or you have to have
the tattoo person.
Yeah. It was like it's just a lot of service. So even when you're working with the work we do, it doesn't really stop, does it? So let's say you get paid to do, or we get paid to work 9 to 5 or whatever it is the hours are, innit? But your phone's never off. Like when you go home and you've got the kids ringing you saying like, I need advice on this, or I need advice with that.
Choice though.
Yeah, that's a choice, but that's where the service comes into it, because you're not doing that for anything extra. So what you're saying is there's a plus. That is the plus. The plus is that realistically that your life is, your job don't finish, never finishes when you're working in the fields we finish, and that is a choice as well. Some people I know say, why you only got one phone? Like, don't you have a work phone and a personal phone? So when work's done, you can lock your work phone off. And I always say like, no, because I'm always available to the people that I work with, because that's what I choose to do. Like if they ring me at 11, 12, as long as I'm not doing something, I can speak to them, innit? So that's a choice. So that's what I say in terms of service. Well, yeah. But I get what you're saying as well.
This is what I said. This is schooling. So in terms of the way schools work, in that this is obviously a monk type structured type organization.
100%. Yeah. Well, it's
And
Christian,
they're like
it's Christian,
apprentice monks, and they're from all over the world. Language must be an issue, but the service is communicable. You know, you need to clean that up. It doesn't need a language, does it? Or you need to go and shower. Whereas if you was doing selling stuff, it would be different.
But it's almost like that. I get what you're saying, because they're just doing it to learn. So it's not, maybe the analogy of me saying about what we do for work isn't quite correct, but I get what their service is. Their service is to the wider community. So him having to go and milk the cows and stuff, that's like learning service, isn't it? It's almost like your rituals. You know, like when you're religion, you have rituals. That's almost servicing the greater power that you want to say in it. Do you see what I mean? No.
Any ritual is for man, innit?
Well, no, because when you do, let's say when Ramadan's on and you have to fast, then that's you performing a service for something else. That's meant to be probably greater than yourself, isn't it? Because that's isn't that one of the 5 pillars? So ultimately,
it doesn't determine or not determine. It's just one of the things, and like I said, to me, it's done for man. It's things that men do. It's not things that God do. It is not righteousness or not righteousness. It's just a ritual that some man decided we can all bend at the waist, so let's bend at the waist. You know, it's not for man. Like when someone passes, everything after that minute is for the alive people. It's not for the dead person, where everyone says, yo, I'm going to my man, I support my man.
I get that. Yeah.
You ain't doing nothing for them, you're doing it for yourself. It's for, so to me, there's
that's like any act, innit? But this is what I'm saying. It's like when they say there's no selfless act. It's like when
what we would call ritual here is education, innit? So if one of the tenets of the school is to teach humility, there are ways to teach humility. So because it's religion and they have to be humble and calm when they're under pressure and everything, that humility teaching. So cleaning the cow dung, milking the cow, very humble. Nothing to do with class stratification. It's a need for everybody in that community to participate. For the older students, they have the benefits of having the younger ones single out some of the more grotesque chores, I would say. But then you want the older ones to lift heavier things, be more knowledgeable at the Sanskrit, and they're going to get a different level. So it's an education system, and they're all at different levels. And the system has a more ethical base than what we would consider here, to me. But I wouldn't say they're rituals. It's just, you want milk, you gotta milk the cow, innit?
Well, I would say a ritual's anything that you have to do it over and over again, regardless of whether it has religious context or not. It's a ritual by a different name.
Milk the cow.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So like, that's why I use the word ritual, because although it's in a completely different context, it's still that learning by repeating over and over again. So that's why it becomes ritualistic, because you're doing it over and over.
I think he probably learned how to milk it the first time he did it. So
he learned the first time, but he still had to do it over and over and over again. So it becomes ritualistic. He probably does it at the same time every day as well. I don't know. Alright, let's jump back in.
So we serve our teachers, the school, and the whole Islam family. That includes Mother Cow and Father Bull. But even they have to serve. Even though it's tiring, at the end of the day, it's worth it. If Krishna is satisfied, then we automatically feel satisfied. And when we all cooperate together in this spirit of service, the result is really nice. But today is actually less work than normal, because it's Sunday, free day. We get to play, go for archery, excited though, because my father is taking us somewhere really exciting. Somewhere he had promised to take us for a very long time. He said one of the directors of the TOVT, Rugby is taking us on a special tour of the new temple. I've never been there before. I can't wait. Because I'm young and foolish, I never really appreciated what it is you gave us. I want to thank you so much for starting ISKCON Mayapur. Because of Mayapur, Krishna consciousness will last for a long time in this world.
Right.
Because everyone will come here to learn about it.
Which young person is going to start that nowadays? Because I'm young and foolish. I love that. That's the humility, you understand? Young people are stupid, but you think you can tell them that them know everything, them invent everything in this society. There, so him just open. Just taking in everything around him. And so, yeah, I love that, man. It's kind of a good feeling, and if you could learn like that every day, you'd be super intelligent. Not educated, intelligent. But yeah, go on.
I almost just feel like you'd just be a better person. I don't know about like intelligence or whatever, but I just feel like you would just be a better person. Well, look at it.
Yeah.
You started 108 temples all over the world. Today, you have over 700 centers worldwide. But now, here comes the most important center of them all, the Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. After the TOVP is finished, we'll be getting over 50 million visitors a year. Can you imagine all those people doing kirtan, taking prasadam and reading our books? So, Srila Prabhupada, I am trying to take up many responsibilities so I can make you happy. Please bless me so that in the future I can do something that will make you much more proud of ISKCON. But anyways, I have to sleep now because it's getting late, and tomorrow's another big day. Thank you very, very much for your luck and for showing me the path back to God. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where was that? In Philadelphia? That was never in Philadelphia. I just read that was in Philadelphia.
Maybe the editing suites in Philadelphia. Didn't look like Philadelphia buildings.
There was no buildings around it, is there?
Yeah, I think that was Life of an Apprentice. What did he call them? Guru.
A Gurukula. That was a good video. It was nice. Good one to start with.
Just shows a different side of life, innit?
Yeah, but do you know what it was? They did it well as well, to be fair. I feel like they added little bits of humour, humility. They showed it well. I do think that, I don't want to say I do think that way of life is better, because that's a wrong statement as well. I think there's, room for all. But me being me, I think that sometimes the simplicity in it, there doesn't seem to be much want or desire. And when I say desire, I mean like in a, what's the word, like hyper consumerism or gluttonous want. And it, like, that's what I'm saying. And there's a purity in that, isn't there?
Of lack of gluttonous want.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, consumerism, I've heard you say it already. Like I said, we're the consumers. People, rich people aren't consumers. They're busy being consumed by us. So we're educated and trying to become consumers. For black women, that's all the way from hair in them temples all the way through to nails and stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But what we don't have is community wealth, strength, institutions or anything like that. We've got the latest bling card, this, that, short term, take your money, give it away stuff. And that is primarily because humility isn't taught in the community. You got, every religion teaches you pride and selfless, we're better than everybody else with it. The whole teaching from your child here, who can put the most money in the thing, who is on the bling thing, who's under that. That's the teaching all the way. Buy a house, get a mortgage, do this. Pretty much every single thing that you need not to do to be successful is what we practice.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, and then look at ourselves and say, well, why aren't we successful? We don't spend each month, we don't carry each other's burdens, we don't anything. There's no common sense.
It's also just what you deem, but again, there's no such thing as there of common sense. But it's also deemed on
I think in other communities there is common sense though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they have a strategy and do things that kind of make the money live a little longer amongst themselves.
But this is what I'm saying, but it's not about money. Like, no one there looked to me like they had any money. So it's what you're programmed to think what success is. Like I seen, I think it was Charlie's, I've seen something the other day and he goes, it's a very successful man, like in life, earns a lot of money. So he took his whole family on holiday and he remembers like when he was young, his dad would say, you'll never be as successful as me, and to him, And then when he was on holiday, he said to his dad, he went, "Dad, look what I've..." Not in a bad way, but you know, they're having just a chat. Like, he's like, look what I've built. And yeah, they're just reasoning on it. So he's like, look what I've built. I've done this. And he was like, and you said I'd never be as successful as you. And his dad turned around and went, "You're not as successful as me though." He's like, he said, "See, your thing was, you was chasing money. I was never chasing money." But he says, "Look what I've got. So all this that you've got, this is my success, isn't it?" He says, "My kids are all successful. They've got happy lives. To me, that means that I am the most successful person in it." Like, he says, you can never, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you will never be as successful as me, because ultimately my success is deep rooted in your success. So when you succeed, I succeed. You can never outbeat me in success.
Yeah, perfectly logical to me.
Yeah, that's it.
But notwithstanding, like I said, that's one family. I think what you'd find though is that man's probably part of a temple and part of a wider structure keeping something else afloat, and that's where we fall apart. What we see is what's in front of us. My son's got to have Nikes, whereas you know the other man ain't buying Nikes for his son when he's teaching him how to be successful.
Yeah, 100%.
So this is what I'm saying. The lessons and the stuff we teach our kids are good if you want to fail. But if you want them to be successful, it's not the right lesson. And you know you have a relative who benefits by because she married into it. So if you're lucky enough, well, that's 1 in 10, 1 in 100, and who gets that? For everyone else, they've technically, right, at my age now, I'm thinking, well, we played this pension game all our life. Is there such a thing as a pension to get now? Is there a pension that can pay you enough to actually pay the bills that come in now compared to when they was thinking about it? So regardless of how it goes, what am I waiting for my pension for when really it ain't gonna pay? Probably 1 week of every 4 weeks of my life is the reality. It's gonna pay for. So
you can't be trying to.
This is what I'm saying. My success is not how to expand my expenditure portfolio for the future. It's how to reduce it. And like I said, I see my success is in you and is in, you know, my kids. That's where my success is. It doesn't matter whether you was this one or in the old spot or the spot before. It's not about material.
Yeah, this is what
it's something else. And this is what I say. I'm good. You know, my kids are good, my family's good, my mom's 100. How much more success do I really need to have to say I'm successful? I'm the oldest man in my family, and all that, you know, what is success?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, success for me, like I say, I see Grace and Eskimo. Yeah, you know, I'm still working Eskimo out in my head. I still talk about this blonde-haired, blue-eyed grandson phenomenon. You know, that for me it blows me away, but yo, it's me. You understand? So, what is success? I would like to have my pops around to kick it with. I would understand him now. I couldn't understand him then, but I would understand him now. So yeah, things could have been different, but ultimately, you're meant to say, I don't know. Being good with everybody is a great place to be, and you know, you can't shape what people think of you. As I say, I come from a household where I learned from the start. Visual is everything. It doesn't actually matter what color your heart is. What people see is what they go with. But ultimately, that's not the measure.
That's I was gonna say that's a really weird thing, isn't it? Because to us, visual is nothing.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. That's
visual in real life should be nothing, but visual is everything, bro.
No. So in certain aspects, it's like I was saying to you on it. So let's say, as long as you got whether it's the kids. Listen, as long as the kids are happy and they're doing what they're doing, all the rest of it, it's like I said, it's like you can take your kids places, right? And I see families, don't even let their kids ramp. don't let their kids move. Like, sit down.
They don't
quiet.
skate. They don't ride
Don't
bikes.
do
They don't
nothing.
do
Like, I'm like, rah. So when people come to our house and they're like, oh, listen, the kids come to dash all the toys on the floor. Like, the house can be a mess. Like, because it's like, the reason why we got such a big house was so you could do that. Like, before, like, yo, we want families to drop in, kids to come, toy room there, play, make a mess. People come round. So, yeah, man, we live in our yard, you know. That's what we do. So, what I'm saying is, as long as you're a good person and you're happy, and yeah, man, when the kids go places, I encourage them to ramp. I said the other day, man, some man was dragging up his shoe. He was only trying to run on the gas. I'm like, right. Obviously, I weren't judging because I don't know what's going on, but I was just thinking, I've seen it time and time again. The kids can't ramp and can't mess around, and I'm like, they're kids, man. Let them ramp, let them mess around, let them do what they're doing. That doesn't mean you can have like the most well-behaved kids sit there quiet, mute, like they're not there, and they can just have, like you said, like a dark heart. You don't know.
I think the behaviour and what should be acceptable should be universal. So if that behaviour would be acceptable abroad and other places, it's good behaviour. What they're doing is secondary. Building, you got to see the skill sets that they're building, and you got to be conscious to those things. Like I said, our parents weren't about that. You born, you grow, you do your thing.
Yeah.
Our parents, my parents, I am your parent.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just different, and people have different strength. Forgive them youth. You know, you might want to be the brightest spark, but then some people pass on the same hype. Mum was a doctor, I'm a doctor, my son's a doctor. There's just no thought process behind it. Yeah, the money is good, but I'm just doing it because somebody else doing it. It's easy not to think of it in all the books. I get help with all the tests and exams and everything.
Yeah.
So it's different circles, but it's just where you hang your hat. The life of a monk, temple, assistant, whatever the thing is,
Gurukula boy.
can only be good. I can't see at any point where you'd be doing anything dodgy, because the rest of them wouldn't really need to tolerate it, would they? Because it's not really the environment for dodginess.
Yeah. Alright, that was a day in the life of a Gurukula boy. Shout out to the person who requested that, because I enjoyed it. Yeah, very interesting. I still want to know where that is, because I actually do think that's in America somewhere, but it might not be. I mean, this building here could be anywhere, to be honest. But we out. Peace.